Hi guys and welcome back. Here we are down for the game 3 match point. Match point for Team Vietnam here at the semi-finals of the Garena All-Star Championships. We're gonna be your shoutcasters. I am Shinbu with the 149, and of course with me is Iconic. As I mentioned, this is match point for Team Vietnam. Standing here is 2-0. So we could see there has been use of adjustments in the draft of Team Philippines as their backs is against the wall for the dominance and the rampage that Vietnam is pushing through.
This is actually something that we've never seen before. TG playing AD carry while Canon on support. We've never seen them lane together in the bot lane. So this is the Philippines mixing it up. But
All-star.
This is very spicy, very spicy. New lane assignments for the Philippines, mainly putting their support on AD carry and then bringing out the substitute as well onto the support role.
Yeah. All right. So for the bans and for the picks, so far initial insights here, Iconic.
Initial insights, these are actually pretty standard bans. The Cassiopeia was used by Optimus last game. It was kind of okay. He didn't use it. He didn't dominate as well as his Victor, so I'm surprised that we didn't see a Victor pick here. It looks like Vietnam actually prioritized the Lee Sin, not giving anything away in their draft. Then you see the Zyra and the Rek'Sai to answer that Lee Sin. Then we get the Karma and Ezreal. Very standard. Karma can actually go top or mid lane, so we might see her also in support. So with these picks locked in for Vietnam, we can now say that the Karma is going support. We have a Fiora top and we have a Lee Sin jungle. So their composition is kind of more team fight oriented.
Team fight oriented, more on the skirmish, more of the control for the mid game, and you know, set up momentum of whatever once again they plan of whatever lead they can get in the mid game, and you know, go for that late game big. So here for Team Philippines.
For Team Philippines, it looks like they're also flexing the Lissandra pick because we have seen a lot of Lissandra picks in the mid lane and in the top lane during the PGS. So we still don't know what the Philippines is planning for the last pick because JLC can go for a tankier top lane, or they can go for an AP control mage like Orianna, because we have seen EXO excel really well on this Orianna, not on a Twisted Fate, not on Zillion, but on this Orianna. We've seen him pull off some stellar shockwaves and missed some stellar shockwave, missed really good shockwaves as well. So it's all on the EXO, but we see the Varus pick for EXO in the mid lane.
Yes, so they're gonna flex as you mentioned. The Lissandra puts in the Varus here against the Victor. We all know that Varus can be efficient still as he maximizes his range against the Victor while maintaining a safe distance against the Victor, whereas you know you have the Lissandra with the range against the Fiora. At least you can go toe to toe when it comes to the matchup. I don't recall that you cannot parry the Lissandra ultimate.
Yes, you can. If you can time it properly, you can parry the ultimate, the Frozen Tomb.
There's a delay in the Frozen Tomb.
Yes, because Lissandra actually has an animation where she raises her hand.
Alright, so that's the part where you can parry it.
Yes.
Alright.
But that takes really insane mechanical skill. And let's just hope that QTV can pull it out.
Very small window.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very small window, but if he can pull it out from himself, then maybe he can be able to parry all the CC coming out from the Lissandra.
Yes.
So what are your initial thoughts regarding the draft so far, Shin?
I mean, regarding the draft so far, this is like, let's go for the bottom lane. I mean, starting at the bottom lane, TG. I've actually played TG in I think in a ranked match. He was playing Smurf and he was playing Vayne. I mean, played ADC. So I have a clear idea that TG can do it, but of course, considering that, you know, it's TG smurfing as usual. And Canon, considering Canon, he has this really he's a veteran player for a Morgana. I was actually expecting a Morgana, but of course the meta calls for Zyra, for the Karma pick. So still, you could consider that the mechanic of the Stranglethorns, Grasping Roots of the Zyra is kind of the same when it comes to the Dark Binding, plus it hurts a lot as well. I believe the Stranglethorns is easier to land compared to the Soul Shackles. So I believe when it comes to the mechanic, when it comes to just this kind of play style that Canon brings to the Morgana, I can bet that he can easily translate this into this Zyra pick. So I have high hopes for Canon as the support substitute. For TG, we'll see. I'm very curious. But Caitlyn, you know, all that Caitlyn has to do is not really be aggressive, just farm consistently. And if there's one players who can also play the long game alongside with EXO, it's also TG. It's also TG. He has his fair share of he's playing support right now. He has his fair share of experience in the top lane, have been in the mid lane as well. So that's why we've been curious about the ADC of TG. Overall, for the Philippine team composition, I haven't seen any adjustments actually. Because is this the composition that requires or improves their vision control? That's the big question, because that's what have they been lacking, and actually one reason why they lost their first 2 games, getting the vision control against Vietnam. But guys, here we go guys. Game 3. Game 3. Match point for the Vietnam Championship Series A All-Star team, of course, versus the Pro Gaming Series All-Star team from Team Philippines for the champion rundown. On the blue side, it's QDV for the Fiora in the top lane. Jungle, Levi on this Lee scene. In the mid lane, it's Optimus gonna be rolling on that Victor. And the bottom two is gonna be Celebrity on that Ezreal ADC and Ron OP on that Karma support.
So for the Philippine team, we have JLC on the Lysandra top, Tamsu on the jungle Rek'Sai, we have EXO on the Varus mid, TG on the AD carry Caitlyn, and we have Canon on the support Zyra.
Alright, so now
one thing I'd like to actually
yes.
highlight with the Vietnamese team is they are more mobile than the Philippine team. As you can see, most of their champions actually have mobility abilities. So
yes.
it's going to be hard for EXO to land his skill shots. Also onto Canon. So it's gonna be a test of their skill shot ability as well.
It's
the ability to connect these skill shots onto the enemy team.
My bet is it's very likely, compared to what we've seen in Game 1 and Game 2, it will be the same. It will be another story that's synonymous to that Game 1 and Game 2, in a sense that when you mention that they are picking mobile champions, these mobile champions means that they'll be, moving around a lot. In the jungle, you'll be swapping lanes in between, and to be said, that requires a good amount of vision control, and that's what Vietnam excels at so far in Game 1 and Game 2. So, the inherent weakness of that one is if the Philippine team could also go toe-to-toe with that vision control and pick members of the Vietnam team as they move from lanes to lanes.
So as you were talking about earlier, asking me whether the Philippine composition is easier for vision control, I think this is better for vision control because they have the Zyra together with the Rek'Sai.
Rek'Sai, yes.
Because one of the things that people this is what professionals usually do with Rek'Sai. They actually can track your movement just by you stepping or destroying on a Rek'Sai tunnel. They can already see in the minimap, hey, this tunnel actually disappeared, so someone is there. So they start looking at the map and seeing who's missing, and they start deducting who actually stepped on the tunnel and destroyed it. So these kinds of small things can give the Philippine team information if Tamsu can actually catch that in the minimap. And for the Zyra, these plants actually help you with vision control as well, because when someone steps on a plant, the plant that gives vision, he can find out that someone is in the area.
Yes, and so that's one mechanic, at least if ever they lose the default vision control.
Yes.
Yeah, so at least intuitive information using the Rek'Sai tunnels. So let's see, though here is Tamsu once again. I mean, standing on wards.
Yes.
It's
That
not
has been
just-
the story of the
yeah.
game, the
It's
series
not-
so far.
It's not just the wards being catching members of the Philippine team. It's also the timeliness of the wards that they put, in a sense that they have they have a good sense of predicting the time frame that the jungler or members of the Team Philippines will, it's very likely they'll be in this position on this time range.
The reason why Tamsu got spotted out right there was because the bot lane of the Philippine team actually arrived to lane late. That's one of the that
So that
means
gives
that they
signal.
leashed
Yes.
that they leashed the Rek'Sai on the right side. So Rek'Sai will be starting on the right side. So his first gank will most probably be in the middle or the top lane.
Yes.
If it takes that long, if he ganks earlier, that means he's starting on the right. His first gank will be middle or bot lane.
Yeah.
So these kinds of things, these kinds of small info feeds can actually help Vietnam read the movement of Tamsu.
Yes.
Had JLC gone to lane a little bit late as well, it wouldn't have given the information on where Tamsu would have started, and it would have probably helped him reach that land that first gank onto the Fiora.
Ladies and gentlemen, still do take note that in this game, again, Team Vietnam setting their first victory. They've been known to play properly the win conditions in the early to the mid game. They know how to rotate. Right now, they have this Lee Sin on their Levi. Levi has a lot of presence at our game 1 and game 2. It's only a matter of time before they make those ganks. We are in game 3. This is the third game where consistently an Infernal Drake first spawns into the reef.
Well, these Infernal Drakes are really good for Vietnam because Vietnam has always had the compositions that do really well with the Infernal Drakes.
Yes, and wow, so this time Vietnam not keeping Tams in check. This is definitely a successful gank to be done here in the bottom lane side. Now Celebrity will riff out along with the Tether coming in from the Karma. Celebrity is in a good distance, gonna flash in. That's Cannon, puts the grasping roots to take the first blood as the kill is given on to PG. Double teleport coming in, and the Q will connect onto Cannon. Now it's QTV dashing in. JLC's gonna Glacial Pan in to land the Ring of Frost on this bottom, or rather two members of the Vietnamese team. It's the flash in coming in from QTV, managed to land the vital spot after that, launch.
The confidence coming out from QTV, knowing his limits with that Fiora, gets the kill on the TG staying a little bit too long there. He could have actually just hugged the turret, but he lingered for a few seconds and instantly got punished by QTV right there.
Yes.
So overall, this is a win actually for Vietnam because the Lee Sin is soaking experience and gold in the top lane, pushing it slowly to deny JLC any gold and EXP, putting him at a disadvantage versus QTV, where QTV actually was able to get a kill. So this minion wave at top lane, it has to be answered by Tamsu, or else it's going to slowly push back towards the Vietnam top lane.
In what lane? In what lane? Come again?
Top
the
lane.
top lane, top lane, yes, in the top lane. So there's this has to be done by Tamsu. At the very least, yeah, of course, you would want to at least mitigate a lot of stuff that can go in favor of QTV. Fiora is a snowball champion, could be said. So right now, he has his first kill. Good thing that Roan OP secured that. Roan OP, the support, was able to secure the second kill in the hands of Vietnam. Do take note that they have a little lead in the form of a few hundred gold against Team Philippines. Do take note as well that good thing that an Ezreal has an awkward item pathing. So once again, TG has the advantage of holding up a BF sword against the Tier of the Goddess that Celebrity has to stack into the mid game.
But the thing here right now is they have no vision where Levi is at all. That's why PG, even though they do have the advantage in lane, they are playing very safe.
And they're gonna go for the two-man gank. Well, it seems that the PGS team has an idea of what's about to go down. There's gonna be the kick flash incoming in from Levi. Puts in the Chaos Storm, but it's gonna be Levi getting punished as he goes under charge. Still, that is a win exchange done there with the Vietnamese team 2-4-1 as the bottom duo gets moved here against Team Philippines.
That was actually a beautiful kick coming out from...
But it's our turn, says Team Philippines. Gonna Tamsu going for the same flank. Same path on the tri-brush, and paired up with JLC. So at least they exchanged that 2 for 2.
That was very sloppy, actually, from the Philippines, because Tamsu was on the left side jungle of... the blue side jungle of the Vietnam.
Yes.
But he could have relayed the information to his bottom lane that, hey, there are no camps whatsoever on the left side. I haven't seen the Lee Sin at all, so he's probably mid or bot side. But then when he was able to relay that information, TG already saw that TG and Cannon already saw that Ron OP was pushing forward with the movement speed. So it was a few seconds too late, and it could have been a different story there.
And they would have want that kind of lead in the early game. I mean, change that into it would be this 2-4-2 could be a 1-4-0 if they are able to pick off if QTV in the top lane. So
had they known that they were going to get ganked,
and
Cannon could have been ready to actually land the snare.
The snare, yes, of course. Optimus will be forced to flash out, receives the piercing arrow. Now Levi puts in the Sonic Wave, resonating strike. He still has the cooldown for the kick, and there's the flash coming in from Exocen. Is there any Sonic Wave? Yes, it connected again. Resonating strike. Exocen not being able to dodge that one, and Tamsu is just clawing away against this bald guy. And I think it's very likely that Levi will be able to escape. Grasping Roots won't touch someone, gets peeled by the gravity field, and that's the mid lane gonna pick up against Team Philippines.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's a pick after pick once again in this early game. So right now, that puts Team Vietnam in the position to have at least, nearing the 2K gold lead. It's gonna be a different story. I wonder if JLC has no teleport. there's a teleport advantage a little bit quite from KDB. These two top lanes with 3 letters for their IGNs.
If you realize the difference in pathing that we've seen this series, usually what happens is Levi focuses mid and bot lane. During the first game, he would focus on mid and bot lane, but then second game, he would focus more on JLC in the top lane. Now he's going back to the mid lane, doing the same thing he did in the game 1, where he would pressure Tamsu so much that Optimus would join him, and they would punish the mid lane and bot lane, mid lane and jungler of the Philippine team. So the mind games right now you can see coming out from Levi onto the Philippine team actually working.
Yes, at the least it's not. At least we have no turret yet to be destroyed. The story of the first turret could be said to be done if ever another successful dunk or a big win with at least maybe around 3 members involved per team. A skirmish is one with 3 members involved per team, and you can translate that into a 1 turret or the Infernal Drake. I'm not saying that in the mid lane because both Victor and Varus are very capable of clearing waves.
Yes.
And at a safe distance for the Rex are even releasing to no, Levi, you have to respect again the kit of the Lee Sin, especially with those kicks and to displace any members. Tamsu still though has a lot of presence, but you could feel the nerfs on these tunnels. Managed to connect the resonating strike, but the ward have not quite the delays there. Puts in the king onto Tamsu as JLC is in range to make the king. Now that puts him in a position to take up Optimus. Piercing arrow, not connected. Pulsating damage of the King Storm destroys Exocet. Levi will rejoin the fight. Managed to connect. That is Tamsu. Praise Seeker onto Optimus, but that's 3 members now alive and well for Team Vietnam, and they will change that in a 2-for-1 exchange. This is Team Vietnam coming big against Team Philippines.
They're just out-roting the Philippine team right now. It all started with Optimus and Levi again cornering Tamsu. Then it scaled into a bigger skirmish with JLC TPing and Exocen joining in the fray. QTV and Ron OP actually joining a little bit after.
You could see in this replay.
Yeah, that's where they already cornered Tamsu and they forced him in. So Exo actually in a really bad position, takes all the damage. Had he landed that arrow, they could have probably killed Optimus, and he would have probably survived this dangerous game.
Yeah.
That was the only out for Exocet right there, because he walked himself into the Raptor camp instead of out.
The mastery that gives you health and mana, right?
Yes, when you get a kill. So that was the only out that Exocet had, and sadly he missed his shot.
Although it's kind of awkward, the pathing of Exocet sidestep into Raptor camp.
Exactly, that was also very questionable.
Yeah.
If he just kept walking face, he probably could have lived.
Yeah,
but he probably was thinking that he had to take this shot. He had to take the kill onto Optimus.
Yeah,
that's why he wanted to go to the Raptor camp and took a 50-50 and lost it.
Yeah, a high risk and high risk, not really high reward actually, because there's a good chance that Optimus will die because of the misposition done by Levi after fully committing onto Tamsu. But no, it's another story. 7-4 once again, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a very synonymous to the other games. 2K gold lead into the 13-minute mark. Getting set up here by Team Vietnam.
As you can see, that
that
was a very awkward flash.
Yeah.
That was a very awkward flash, but nonetheless, Vietnam gets the job done.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage coming in from the Victor, and you still have to respect this is Optimus. Optimus from Game 6 yesterday, now ramping up a Victor in the 3-1-2 KDA.
Aside from that, you can see that the Lee Sin actually has the Warrior enchantment. That's why he's been bursting everyone down with his resonating strike, with his Dragon's Rage.
Good thing,
very painful.
Good thing Levi doesn't have the best combo yet with the Dragon's Rage.
Yes.
He's been delaying when it comes to ward hops, then Dragon's Rage kick, and even after the flash.
But this looks very scary right now for Team Philippines, because Levi looks like he's going to build full AD. Take a look at that serrated there. He could probably opt for either a Maw or a Yumus. Yumus would optimize his damage output by a ton, because you won't be expecting a lot of the Philippine team to be building armor, because then again you have a Lissandra in top, you have a Varus mid, you have a Zyra, and you have a Kate. You have 4 targets that you can easily burst down and assassinate as a Lee Sin.
Yeah, yes, of course. And there we go. As we mentioned, This is a phase of the game where you would take team fights and translate that to objectives. On top, no turrets yet to be destroyed, but it's gonna be an Infernal Drake falling into the hands of Team Vietnam. EXO with the dangerous positioning. Levi will connect on save, resonating strike, followed up by Celebrity. It's Levi now on a killing spree, removing the mid laner of Team Philippines. Things are just looking as gloomy as ever for Team Philippines as Team Vietnam is gonna go and just methodically pave their way to the Game 3 victory for the 3-0 sweep.
Vietnam has had such a surgical approach to these games where they slowly just accumulate small leads and slowly snowball this game. That has been the story the entire series. That has been the story the past 2 days we've seen. And one of the people I'd like to commend is actually Ron OP. Ron OP has 7 out of 9 kill participation. He has been everywhere in terms of where the action is.
Yeah, for Team Vietnam, for me it's Optimus, it's Levi, and Ron OP is the next one. Yeah.
They are actually the true celebrities of their team, if you will. Celebrity has been a very consistent early carry.
Yeah.
Isn't as flashy as his 3 other teammates who are the real playmakers of Team Vietnam.
And interestingly, among them, the one who actually made it an all-star event is QTB.
Yes.
It's actually not showing up the best performance so far. I mean, not really shining the brightest among the team.
Yes,
QTB is
that's
doing
true.
his fair share of the job. QTB is doing his fair share of the job, but it can be clearly said that these 4 members are shining more compared to this top laner of the Vietnamese team.
Ron OP yesterday with his roams, with his predictions
Yes.
has been so on point that he has actually been somewhat carrying Vietnam all together with Optimus and Levi. It's actually very crazy because usually what happens in this game is one of the reasons why the Philippines is having such a hard time is because Canon is always late to the party. When Canon's already started rotating to mid lane, Ron OP is already at mid lane. So just these few seconds of being there first can make all the difference in these skirmishes. And that's the reason why Vietnam has such a big commanding lead over the Philippines right now.
That's a 9-point to our scoreboard. That's a 5-kill lead on top of the 5k gold lead. This, in my opinion, this is bigger compared to the game 2. Like, it's the Philippine team kind of sending a message that they are losing control of this game. So, suggestions for Team Philippines would be they have actually a nice pick composition in a sense that they could clutch connect their crowd control for the Chain of Corruptions, plus followed up by the JLC. And here we go, the pick that we've been looking for. They're fully committing onto this one with JLC teleporting in the bottom lane. There's a flashing coming in from Tamsu, grasping roots, who will zone out members, but enough for Celebrity to dive in. Still, the bottom belt is just too much. The engage coming in from the Lissandra. Nicely done by Team Philippines!
They overcommitted there.
Yeah,
though.
but
They actually are gonna lose 2 turrets. It may look like a really good play, but that was really bad. Just by what Vietnam is replying with, they took one tier 2 mid and one tier 2 top, tier 1 top. So these are the kinds of plays that the Philippines usually make. They tend to tunnel vision a lot, and because they tunnel vision, Vietnam can take these objectives for free.
Yeah. It's the sad part about it. Even the bottom lane turret is not destroyed. So I believe with that kind of push in the bottom lane, they at least had to offset that 2 turret trade in exchange for 1 champion, in exchange for the ADC, with at least pair that one with the outer bottom lane turret, because members of Team Vietnam is yet to translate in this bottom lane. So yeah, things are looking pretty gloomy. Actually, that 5k gold lead earlier has now translated, even with Team Philippines making that 1 pick, into a 7k gold lead now.
Yeah, you can just if I were Vietnam, I could already see how desperate the Philippines is because they sent 4 people, invested so many summoners just to get 1 kill. And we were able to take so much. So this is where you'd expect Vietnam to start playing a little bit more forward because they know that they're at a major advantage. So what you'd expect from them is they'd start denying vision control from the Philippine team and start enabling all of these things.
Yes, but this one, they're gonna first pull the trigger against Optimus. Optimus will flash out, but JLC gonna be problem belting in. Their mid laner is gone though. That ray onto JLC, and without the damage, Tamsu wouldn't get to execute. It's a tomb! Did that Roshan Barat connect the 2 targets? Alright, managed to snag up JLC. That's an initiate done by Team Philippines that collapse so hard. It's a 3-4-0 exchange, won by Vietnam.
That's the problem with setting up a pick when you're behind.
Yes, and it's
Not
just
having vision control as well.
very
That's what
exact.
happens.
On top of the Rip Herald, it's a battle buff as well. This is a Vietnam's game, could be said. This is just too much now for Team Philippines. I mean, for the mid game at least. Because what they would rely on is the inherent weakness of having to push inhibitor turrets. So, let's see. Actually, Team Vietnam, things are looking pretty awkward. Levi's still saying it. Come on, guys, we can do this. No, 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 I have no mana.
Well,
Tamsu
Tamsu might be able to get the kill.
And
Oh,
yes, boom,
beautiful.
shotgun.
Boom, Prey Seeker on the QTV. Slowly lifting the this might be the spark that will lift the morale of the Philippine team. Hey, we got a straggler.
Yes, 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 yes.
So as you can see there, the JLC actually went onto Optimus, blew his entire combo onto Optimus, but Optimus had the Zonias to actually stay alive for a little bit more. They didn't have the vision control, so they didn't know where the enemies were coming from. They didn't know that Levi and QTV were there, so they get punished for that all-in. That is why having vision control is super important, especially in a pick off, because you need to know that you have the numbers advantage, the item advantage, but if
Yeah.
you're this behind, the only way you can actually accomplish picks like that is if you have the numbers advantage.
Yes. Ocean Drake was initiated on by Team Philippines, but it was taken by Team Vietnam. Definitely, Team Vietnam, as you mentioned, are making more and more forward plays, more and more forward assertion and skirmishes. So, what happens here is we are now in the mid game. Mid game that's, you know, supposed to set the at least balance or at least to determine who has the lead in the late game. But no, it's not the story right now because clearly in this mid game, the one who has the lead is Team Vietnam. It's a matter of let's see if any big miracle play will be done by Team Philippines. Do take note that Exosen has his corrupted chains, one of his combo, crucial combo, on cooldown right now. And well, we could rely might be on Cannon's Peak, Grasping Roots, and Stranglethorns on different targets. But really, just now, it's kind of hard. It's not even the story of whether TG has been effective on this Caitlyn ADC. It's
Well,
just really
it's
Vietnam
just-
playing well.
Yes, it's Vietnam playing well. As you could see earlier, like 30 seconds ago, the Philippine team actually tried to siege up mid-tier 1 turret, even though their side lanes were pushing into their base.
Yes.
So they had to respond to that, and that is a very questionable siege because they don't even have their side waves prepped yet, but they already went for a siege. Even though they have a really good siege composition with a Varus and a Caitlyn, you still can't force these things when your side lanes are pushing, especially against a very good split pusher like a Fiora, and also Victor who can clear waves really fast and can take down turrets with his Siphon power.
Now, Optimus gonna force into JLC. Once again, Optimus can force those plays. You know, what's interesting about the Zonia's Hourglass is it's a defensive item, but it actually prompts you on making more aggressive plays. So there, you can see how Optimus, knowing that JLC is one of the damage them, he could just go ham on in the top lane with the safety and assurance of the Zonia's Hourglass. They also managed to remove and chunk the health out of Tamsu, and they're gonna take this top lane inner turret for themselves.
Right now at this point, no one can actually go toe-to-toe versus the Fiora. So the Fiora pick actually working pretty well for Vietnam because Philippines will have to send at least 2 people to actually match this Fiora. EXO is already by the bot lane turret, bot lane tier 2 turret, but he can't do anything against this Fiora because this Fiora can actually just dive him. She already has the Mercurial Scimitar as well, so if he tries to land his ultimate onto the Fiora will just use her QSS
Yeah.
on and then just kill Exosen right there.
I was curious that there's I mean for JLC, you mean JLC's ultimate if it's land on Fiora or on Varus?
It doesn't matter
Doesn't
who,
matter, yeah,
because
doesn't matter.
there's so much
Yeah.
hard targeted CC coming out from the Philippine team.
Yeah.
So picking up this Mercurial Scimitar is really good, especially with Fiora.
Yeah, my guess
Because
is
you
that
can probably also parry any other incoming
yeah,
CC.
you just parry for the because it actually revolves 2 of the biggest CCs here from Team Philippines is the Corrupted Chains, which can heavily be countered by the parry.
yes.
The Corrupted Chains flight time is kind of slow compared to the parry. Like if you have your reflexes ready for the parry, and for the harder CC to counter, that is the Glacial Prison. Frozen Tomb rather. Frozen Tomb. You have the Scimitar.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Right now, they sent JLC to the bot lane. JLC is in a really bad spot because all he can do right now is just keep on taking down the minions of QTV. But if QTV decides to pounce on him, he can.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and Ron OP here getting punished for face checking up. Levi will go to the rescue. Piercing arrow will not connect, puts the kick in onto Exoset. Here comes Optimus going for the clean up. 2 members gone for Team Philippines, gonna go for Cannon, and that makes 3. That is Optimus with a killing spree, a double kill for the Ezreal Celebrity. They're gonna take the Baron for themselves as Team Vietnam is coming big 25 minutes into the game.
This is the only opportunity that they can actually do this is Tamsu goes for the miracle steal right here.
Yeah,
but he's being zoned out by Celebrity's Ezreal and the Fiora also jumping onto him.
But
Ron OP died. Ron OP falls to the Baron.
At least.
The silver lining of that story is that
silver lining.
skirmish. Is that Ron OP lost his Baron buff. That's all there is to it right there. And the Philippines get 1 turret, their first turret of the game, to the 5 turrets of Vietnam.
Yes, that's JLC being intuitive to at least exchange something for that Baron, for that forced Baron to be done by Vietnam. It's not really much of a forced Baron. It's just, I believe they don't even need to send QTV really to Tamsu. I think Celebrity is enough to zone out Tamsu, but of course you would want to put the slow on Tamsu. And right now into this game, if you look at the item decisions, you could see, wait, hold that thought. Now they're gonna collapse onto Exos, and Celebrity is gonna flash in Mystic Shot that puts him on a rampage, as well as with Optimus as he visits the bottom lane, decimating JLC. Now Celebrity is gonna go for the cleanup. Is that a double kill? Will that be counted as a double kill? I'm sure it's Rampage earlier on. Now this time it's unstoppable as Celebrity bags in the 3rd member to become the casualty here against Team Philippines. Now he's on the chase for the fort. Gonna land in those kill shots. Not quite connecting the Mystic Shot, but the normal hit is there. And the inhibitor to be gone as well in the base of Team Philippines. This is Team Vietnam taking their good time in the base of Team Philippines. I think it's a matter of time before they close this one. The death timers are relatively short, but yeah, this is nicely done by Team Vietnam. I mean,
this Vietnam squad is actually scarier than it was yesterday because yesterday we had a 12-1 victor, but now we have the gold properly distributed across the entire Vietnamese team. So even if the Philippines get a pick, they're still gonna have a gold lead against the Philippine team.
Here we go. There's also the corrupted chains. A lot of CC being put to the members of Team Vietnam, but still, Optimus is always there. After the Chaos Storm, he's just gonna press the Sonya's Arcus button, removes JLC in the fight, getting punished to be in the front line. Strangle Thorns get activated. A lot of skill is now on cooldown against the Philippine team, but do take note that Team Vietnam as well has the lower health, so that will prompt them onto recalling and take the next team fight, this time without any available inhibitor in the base of Team Philippines.
So now the Vietnamese team will actually just opt to reset.
Yeah,
they've already taken every structure except the Nexus right now and the Nexus turrets.
That's what made them scarier. I mean, they're not even taking risks.
Exactly.
They're not even forcing things. So when Team Vietnam return to this base, it's very likely they close out the game.
Most likely, because they would just opt back to buy their new items and end the game off of that.
Yes.
Two more Nexus turrets standing between them and the advancing to the finals right here. So Celebrity doing pretty well, getting a lot of damage on Samsu.
At the very least, our viewers are learning something that when you have the lead doesn't mean you have to finish the game yet. It's a matter of not throwing.
Yes.
Not throwing, but even actually a few mistakes could be still in the pocket of Vietnam and they'd still be set to win this game. It's a matter of time, ladies and gentlemen, as the truth will unfold. It's gonna be a 3-0 sweep. Let's see. Vietnam is now onto the Nexus turrets. You can see that Optimus being able to proc his damage from that Cyborg power onto the Nexus turret. Second Nexus turret will now go down. It's about time to take the final fight as Tamsu takes the lead on the 4 members. Tamsu gets collapsed on, becomes a number, with Levi putting up into a dominating killing streak. Celebrity will shock the rest of the members of Team Philippines, and they managed to secure a double kill for this ADC for ADC with 4 members gone. Only JLC remaining standing. It is Team Vietnam that's gonna proceed to the finals.
Wow.
Very clean, very nicely done by Team Vietnam. I mean, I cannot see any phase of the game where Team Philippines took the lead.
That's the thing with Team Philippines. Their entire performance they've always been behind in in the early game. They always get outlaned, they always get out CS. There's always a gold lead that comes out from the laning phase for their opponents. And usually what they do is they just try to win the game through superior team fighting, but they haven't gotten any opportunity whatsoever in this series.
Yes, but of course you have to take note about it's not really the skill level. It's not a skill level. It's not a question of skill level because in terms of skill level, it can be said that Exosen could go toe to toe with Optimus, even with JLC against QTV, and I'd say even in the bottom lane. The big question here is what's superior about Team Vietnam is their macro play. Is their macro play in a sense that actually Team Vietnam was really a stronger play. This time it's like they're not even an all-star team. It's like they're really a well-versed team, you know. And I think Team Philippines needs to work on their vision. Maybe this is one of the consequences. Again, it's a hit or miss when it comes to all-star compositions, when it comes to vision, when it comes to establishing synergy for your team. And it seems that the con manifested itself for Team Philippines.
Well, usually what happens in these kinds of all-star situations is the teams don't have the, great communication between each other. So
Yeah.
that could be the possibility that, as you said, they are mechanically equal.
Yes.
So it could just be a problem of communications.
Yes.
Because usually when you play with new people that you're not comfortable with, and
I'd
you're put
say,
into
yeah,
this kind of environment.
Matter of communication because you could see how Vietnam is able to respond. Now, there's this term that can be said that our team has no team play, but it is because maybe something has to be worked on. I mean, the communication doesn't. You cannot really clearly dismiss that the Team Philippines has no team play. It's a matter of they have team play in a sense. They still have team play in a sense of when it comes to executing team fights. It's just Team Vietnam, aside from the team play that they have this intuitive sense that they know what needs to be done. They'll pick this composition, they know the win conditions of that one. You have a very mobile composition, paired that with vision. You have a pick composition, paired that with vision. And it's very likely that Team Philippines come up unprepared for that specific playstyle. I believe we have a better chance if it comes to, you know, 5-5 stack.
I gotta say that Vietnam actually had this calculated aggression that the Philippines don't have. One of the things that the Philippines has is aggression, but sometimes they go overboard. Like when they tunnel vision, they 4-man gank Celebrity in the bot lane and actually costing them 2 turrets.
Yes.
This kind of reckless play can actually be punished really well by international teams. So if I were to recommend something, I would actually think more of calculated risk, because that's what Vietnam actually did through the entire series. They kept taking calculated risks and it always paid off for them.
I cannot even say it is in the draft because actually Team Philippines has a really nice draft so far in Game 1, Game 2, Game 3. I cannot find... I think it's in Game 1 that they got... No, I don't think it's Game 1 that they got outdrafted. There's no phase in the game. There's no phase that there are no games here in the semifinals that Team Philippines can be said that they were heavily outdrafted compared to maybe to the group stage with their fight against Team Thailand, where the Jin was removed and even the Poppy. But it's really, I'd say the clear-cut vision here, the short vision, the short version of what's the core reason why Vietnam took the lead is because of the vision. Yeah. Version is the vision. Yeah. So for our viewers, the biggest congratulations for Team Vietnam, and of course the maddest of props for Team Philippines in participating for this semi-finals. As we've mentioned, Team Vietnam in our bracket for this knockout stage will now take one of the seeds here for the finals to be played tomorrow in the best of 5 series of whoever will win for this match 2 of our semi-finals played between the Legend Circuits of Team Malaysia and of course the Thailand Pro League. Again, these are 2 all-star powerhouse teams coming in alive out of the group stage. We are set for another best of 5 series after a quick break. Guys, we have been your shoutcasters for this game. I am Shinbu with the 1-4 and of course with me is Iconic. This is the conclusion of the match 1 for the semi-finals of the Garena All-Star Championship 2016. Guys, we'll see you on the match 2. Arrow not connected, proceeding damage of the King Storm destroys Exoset. Levi will rejoin the fight, manage to connect, that is Tamsu, Praise Seeker onto Optimus, but that's 3 members now alive and well for Team Vietnam, and they will change that in a 2-for-1 exchange. This is Team Vietnam coming big against Team Philippines.
They're just out-rotated.
The bottom lane is flashing coming in from Tamsu, grasping roots, who will zone out members, but enough for Celebrity to dive in. Still, the photo belt is just too much. The engage coming in from the Lissandra. Nicely done by Team Philippines! Against Optimus. Optimus will flash out, but JLC gonna be problem belting in. Their mid laner is gone, though. That play onto JLC, and without the damage, Tamsu wouldn't get to execute. It's a 2. Did that Crucian Barat connect the two targets? Alright, Spore managed to see up. Levi will go to the rescue. Priscilla will not connect, puts the kick in onto Exoset. Here comes Optimus going for the clean up. 2 members gone for Team Philippines. Gonna go for Cannon, and that makes 3. That is Optimus with a killing spree. A double kill for the Ezreal Celebrity. They're gonna take the banner for themselves as the normally is there, and the inhibitor to be done as well in the base of Team Philippines. This is Team Vietnam taking their good time in the base of Team Philippines. I think it's a matter of time before they close this one. The death timers are relatively short, but yeah, this is nicely done by Team Vietnam. I mean,
This Vietnam squad is actually scarier than it was yesterday, because yesterday we had a 12-1 victor, but now we have the gold properly distributed across the entire Vietnamese team. So even if the Philippines get a pick, they're still gonna have a gold lead against the Philippine team.
here we go. There's also the corrupted James. A lot of CCB goods to the members of Team Vietnam, but still, Optimus is always there. After the Chaos Storm, he's just gonna press the Sonya's Artless button, removes JLC in the fight, gonna punish the B in the front line. Strangle Crunch get activated. A lot of skill is now on cooldown. Now onto the Nexus turrets. You can see that Optimus being able to proc his damage from that Siphon Power onto the Nexus turret. Second Nexus turret will now go down. It's about time to take the final fight as Stamsu takes the lead on the 4 members. Stamsu gets collapsed on, becomes a number. With Levi putting up into a dominating killing streak. Celebrity will shock the rest of the members of Team Philippines, and they managed to secure a double kill for this ADC for ADC with 4 members gone. Only JLC remaining standing. It is Team Vietnam that's gonna proceed to the finals.
Wow.